You stand up. You walk toward the door. And behind you, you hear it. The small sound, the sharp breath, the face that crumples the instant you cross the threshold. And you feel it. The guilt, the tug, the quiet worry that you just did something to them. That every time you leave the room, you are leaving a small wound. But what your baby actually feels in that moment is not what you think it is. It is stranger than that. It is more beautiful than that. And once you understand what is really happening inside their mind when you walk away, you will never leave a room the same way again. Welcome to Inside the Baby Mind, where we go past what your baby does and into what your baby is actually thinking, feeling, and trying to tell you. If you have ever felt that pull of guilt walking out of a room, this one is for you. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's begin. The first thing to understand is the hardest for an adult to imagine. When you leave the room, your baby does not picture you in the kitchen. They do not think, he'll be back in a minute. In the first months of life, your baby has not yet fully built the idea that things continue to exist when they can no longer be seen. Psychologists call it object permanence, and in the beginning, that understanding is still forming. So when you walk out, you are not a person who simply stepped away. In their world, you may have simply disappeared. The room where you were is now a room where you are not. And there is no somewhere else. There is only here and gone. And here is where almost every parent gets it wrong. We assume that if the baby feels us vanish, they must feel abandoned. But that is an adult story, built from an adult's memories. Your baby has no concept of abandonment yet. They have no timeline, no "you always do this," no fear of the future. What they feel is something much simpler and much less painful. A gap, a sudden absence of the warmth that was just there. Not a wound, not a story about being unloved, just an open space where something important used to be, and a signal rising in them to close that space again. That cry you hear as you leave, the one that pulls at something deep in your chest, is one of the oldest signals in human biology. It is not a performance. It is not your baby learning to control you. It is a survival call that comes before language, before memory, before your baby can think in words. For nearly all of human history, a baby separated from their caregiver was a baby in genuine danger. So evolution wrote a single instruction deep into the nervous system. When they leave, call them back. Your baby is not being difficult. They are doing the one thing their biology has equipped them to do, to keep the person they need close. The cry is not aimed at you. It is aimed at bringing safety back. And the fact that it works, the fact that it turns you around in the doorway, is exactly what it was designed to do. Now stay with me, because what comes next completely changes the meaning of that moment. What feels like one of the hardest parts of your day is actually one of the most important lessons your baby will ever learn. If Inside the Baby Mind is giving you something real, take a second to subscribe. Around 8 or 9 months, something begins to shift, and you can watch it happen in the simplest game in the world. Peekaboo. Think about why peekaboo delights a baby so completely. You disappear behind your hands, gone, and then suddenly, you are back. Gone, back, gone, back. To an adult, it feels like nothing. To your baby, it is a revelation. Because every single round is teaching them the most reassuring lesson of early life. Things that disappear can come back. The face that vanished returns. The warmth that left arrives again. Peekaboo is not just a game. It is a baby practicing, in a safe and joyful way, the very feeling that overwhelms them when you leave the room. And this is the part that reframes everything. Object permanence, the sense that the people and things you love can still exist even when you cannot see them, is not fully formed at birth. It is something your baby gradually learns, and they learn it from you, from the ordinary, repeated rhythm of you leaving and coming back. Every time you step out and then reappear, you are giving your baby a piece of evidence. You left and you returned. You were gone and then you were here again. One leaving at a time, one return at a time. Your baby is building one of the deepest beliefs a human being can hold, that absence is not the end. You are not damaging them when you leave. You are helping them learn the thing that will one day let them feel safe in a world where they cannot always see the people they love. Now, there is a real physical response happening when you leave. A brief rise in stress, a small wave through the body. But a nervous system is not made strong by never feeling stress. It is made strong by feeling small, manageable stress, and then recovering from it, in the arms of someone safe. The brief worry of you leaving, followed by the flood of relief when you return, is teaching their body how to move from distress back to calm. This is the beginning of emotional regulation, built from thousands of tiny cycles of, you left, it was hard, you came back, and everything was okay. And now we have arrived at the heart of this video, the thing I most want every parent watching to hear. Take a breath. Here it is. Your baby is not shaped only by the moment you leave. They are shaped again and again by the moment you come back. The reunion, not just the departure, is where the deepest lesson lives. When you walk back into that room, when your face softens and your arms open and your voice says, "I'm here, I'm back," that is the moment being written into your baby's deepest sense of how the world works. What you feared was a wound is actually the classroom. The leaving creates the question. The return is the answer. And every time you answer it warmly, reliably, again and again, you are building one of the most important beliefs your child will ever carry. I am someone people come back for. I am worth returning to. That belief can outlast childhood. It can shape how they love, how they trust, and how safe they feel in relationships for years to come. And you are building it right now, in the most ordinary doorway of the most ordinary day. If that moved you, take a second to like this video. It helps us reach other parents who carry that same quiet guilt. And leave a comment. Tell me, what does your baby do the moment you walk back into the room? I read every single one. There is a name for the role you become in your baby's life. Attachment researchers call it a secure base. And it explains something you may have noticed without understanding it, that the more certain a baby feels that you will return, the braver they become about being apart from you. Watch a securely attached baby in a new place. They crawl away to explore, then glance back to check that you are still there, then explore a little further. You are the anchor that makes the adventure possible. And here is the quiet paradox at the center of it all. A child cannot learn independence from a parent who never leaves. It is the gentle rhythm of leaving and returning that teaches them they can venture out into the world, because the person they love will be there when they need to come back. And so the way you leave the room matters more than you might think, because your baby is not only registering that you left, they are reading how you left. When you leave in a panic, sneaking out, lingering anxiously, or rushing back in, flustered, your baby can absorb the feeling that leaving is dangerous, something to fear. But when you leave calmly, with a warm word, a small wave, and a steady, "I'll be right back," even before they understand the words, they absorb the feeling underneath them. This is normal. This is safe. She isn't afraid, so I don't need to be either. You are not just leaving a room. You are teaching your baby how to feel about the goodbyes still to come. So here is the last thing, and it is the simplest one of all. You do not have to be a parent who never leaves the room. That parent does not exist, and your baby does not need them. You only have to be the parent who comes back, and comes back steady, warm, present, glad to see them. You will leave that room thousands of times, to cook, to work, to rest, to live. And every single time, you will have the chance to give your baby the same quiet, world-building gift. The proof, one more time, that separation is not the end. It is followed by love returning. So the next time you walk out and hear that small cry behind you, don't carry the guilt. Carry this instead. You are not leaving a wound. You are about to teach the most reassuring lesson there is, the moment you walk back in. This is Inside the Baby Mind. They are watching. They are waiting. And when you return, you are home.